Well, most people know about the Democratic, Republican, and Libertarian political parties. Well, now there's a new one in North Carolina, the No Labels Party.
The state just gave approval for the party a few days ago. And voters, you can now register as a member of that party, which has more centrist views than some others. North Carolina is the 10th state in the country where the No Labels Party is now registered.
WCT's Ava Brengord talked to other political leaders about how the new group could impact next year's elections.
This is just not the time to play political games.
That's the reaction from the chair of New Hanover County's Democratic Party to news that the No Labels Party is registered in North Carolina.
To pretend that this is not partisan in some way is a farce.
No Label leaders say the party reflects the beliefs of moderate and centrist voters, where many Americans say they fall in the current political climate.
Choices being served up by the two political parties are just not acceptable. They're not liked by most American voters, including those in North Carolina.
One goal for No Labels is to bring bipartisanship to the White House. The state chair says if current President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump receive their party nominations in 2024, No Labels will recruit a candidate to enter the presidential race.
We think that a third balanced ticket with ideas that reflect what most Americans want would stand a very good chance of winning.
Local Democrats and Republicans aren't so sure.
It's not the time to play political games. Democracy and the U.S. Constitution is at stake.
When I reached out to the New Hanover County Republican Party Chair Nevin Carr, he sent a statement that said, in part, quote, "There are many political parties, but none are as focused and effective at protecting our freedoms guaranteed under the Constitution as local county Republican parties." End quote. Voters will decide in 2024 if the No Labels platform will make a difference in local or national elections.
Now, North Carolina ranks second for electoral votes among the states where No Labels is now registered. Our state has 16. Florida's 30 votes tops the list right now.